Dear students, now we are going to discuss a rediscovery of Mendel's laws of inheritance. Out of so many scientists who laid a foundation to demonstrate laws of inheritance proposed by Mendel, certain number of demonstrations by certain number of scientists discussed in our textbook. And before that one, what about data publication of Mendel laws of inheritance? So now we are discussing rediscovery of Mendel laws. After that, chromosomal theory of inheritance in the support of Mendel laws of inheritance. Means recognition of Mendel laws. Okay, experimental verification by certain number of scientists. So before that, we should discuss what about data publication of laws of inheritance by Mendel. So in 19th century, in the mid of 19th century, he started artificial hybridization experiments on Pisum sativum to study mechanism of inheritance. And what about data publication of Mendel laws of inheritance? Mendel published data publication. Data publication means into the public domain, that is during 1865. Data publication 1865, data publication. Okay, so from that period till the end of almost 19th century, means the end of 19th century, so till end of that century, 1900, Mendel laws, inheritance laws, unrecognized. Unrecognized means nobody nobody demonstrated that one as a rule, or this is practically they failed to prove Mendelian laws. Okay, so what about the time gap? Almost it took 35 years. So 35 years they were delayed. What were the reasons? What are the reasons for that delay? So 1865 data publication, 1900 they recognized. Till that period unrecognized, means almost 35 years they were unrecognized officially. Okay, so what are the reasons? Reasons for that much delay? Even though they were experimentally proved by Mendel, nobody failed to understand so-called law of dominance, law of segregation, and the law of independent assortment. Okay, so what are the reasons? First reason one, firstly, publication issues. Publication. Okay, so at the time, what about publication? Poor publication. He published it, but poor publication. What is that poor publication? Nowadays, we are having WhatsApp, Google, and other publication means newspapers also. At the time, only newspapers only. So because of poor publication, nowadays we are having extensified publication, wide-spreading publication. Wherever you go, network follows. Okay, media follows. But at the time, it was poorly published, not widely published. Did not publish it widely. So no wide publication. If the publication is wide, definitely every scientist definitely will focus on studying Mendel laws of inheritance. So first problem is a publication problem. And the second reason, his ideas about genetic material. What about his idea about genetic material according to his knowledge? Factors are discrete, stable, discrete. Stable means as it is like that. Discrete, separate, clearly visible, clearly going from generation to generation. Discrete factors are discrete units and able to express concerned with expression of phenotypic traits. Phenotypic traits. And here the given statement according to Mendel, they do not blend. So pairs of alleles of a gene, they did not blend. So no blending of alleles. No blending of alleles. So according to Mendel, no blending of alleles. No blending of alleles means no genetic recombinations. If there is no blending of allele, if you look into monohybrid cross, that statement was used by Mendel, no blending of alleles. If there is no blending, means a recombination. Okay, so if it is there is no blending of alleles, no genetic recombinations. No genetic recombinations. If genetic recombinations are absent, definitely no evolution. No evolution. Okay. No evolution means there is no development in the new species. There will be no new species. So that was the statement given by Mendel. Okay. So poor publication, okay, at the time acceptable. But what about this one? It is against apparently clearly visible genetic variations which are caused during sexual reproduction or mutations. So this is against this statement. Against variations naturally possible. Variations naturally possible in the nature. So according to evolution, definitely variations are taking place. Okay, so here variations of two types. According to your textbook, continuous variations during sexual reproduction. Okay. And second one, discontinuous variations. Discontinuous, rarely possible. Mutations are discontinuous variations. Mutations leads to discontinuous variations. So naturally, mutations possible, evolution possible, new species possible. But what about a second statement? No blending of alleles is against this natural phenomena. This natural phenomena. So that's why most of the scientists, they didn't accept this no blending of alleles. Against evolution or not? If you go back to introduction part, under the heading genetics or within the chapter of so-called genetics, they studied inheritance. Parallelly, they tackled evolution. It was given there. So Mendel was not aware of so-called variations. And those variations are linked with the blending of alleles. So that is a second drawback. This is not the drawback of Mendel. This is the drawback of so-called science and technology. And the second one is a major drawback. He was not aware of that one. Okay, so second one. Next, third one. Third reason. Third reason is mathematical, statistical, mathematical knowledge, application of mathematical knowledge to explain a mechanism of inheritance laws with the help of ratios, mathematical ratios. That is a 3:1, 1:2, 2:1 in the case of monohybrid cross, and dihybrid cross 9:3, 3:1. So most of the contemporary, means a scientist working along with the simultaneous time of concerned Mendel. So most of the contemporary scientists failed to understand that mathematical applications. So this was not the problem of Mendel. This was the problem of the scientists who failed to understand that one. So the second one was the major mistake of Mendel. He was not aware of that one. Third one, it was not the mistake of Mendel. Okay, that is a so-called poorness of concerned scientists regarding mathematical and statistical applications to explain so-called ratios. It was not the problem of Mendel. Fourth one, finally, fourth drawback. So second one is clear-cut drawback of Mendel. Fourth one also clear-cut drawback of Mendel. What was that drawback? Finally, they questioned, okay, Mendel, you are explaining all these things. Now, our question is, yeah, this is a factor. What was that factor? They asked a demonstration of that factor, both physically and chemically. They questioned, Mr. Mendel, what was that factor? Mendel failed to answer. So he failed to provide, he didn't provide it. So no experimental, no physical evidence, no physical and chemical evidence. Fourth one, they question, what about physically, what is that? Structurally, what is that? Chemically, what is that? He failed to answer. So out of all these, this is a society problem, means developmental issues. Lack of poor publication means lack of advancement in the science and technology. So this is not a problem of Mendel. Second one is a biggest mistake of Mendel. This one, and this one also, he failed to provide what was that factor. Actually, if you go back to molecular basis of inheritance, there one heading was there, search for genetic material. Mendel failed to answer what was that factor. From Griffith onwards, a number of scientists work on what about the physical and chemical nature of that genetic material. At the time, the research work narrowed towards something present in the nucleus, DNA, chromosome, genes, like that. Okay, so that's why it took almost 35 years to rediscover Mendel laws of inheritance. Okay, right? Next, first of all, who rediscovered Mendel laws of inheritance? Okay. So first of all, in 1900, three scientists, three biologists, okay, three members. Who were they? That is Hugo de Vries, Hugo de Vries, Karl Lorenz, who discovered incomplete dominance, Karl Lorenz, and von Heschmark. These three people, they conducted a number of monohybrid crosses, dihybrid crosses, independently, separately. This independent, this word is very, very important, independently. Independently, separate experiments, not together. Independently, they rediscovered Mendel's laws of inheritance. That was the first evidence, experimental evidence in the support of law of dominance, law of segregation, and independent assortment. Experimentally, they demonstrated, they accepted Mendel laws of inheritance. Right? Next. So during that period, particularly 1902, there was advancement in microscopy. Microscopic studies. With the help of microscopic studies, certain number of scientists, they observed a movement of chromosomes. They observed particularly colored bodies, actually, with the help of microscope. They observed, they discovered chromosome. Okay, colored. Soma, body. Colored bodies. So with the help of a microscope, they identified a rod-shaped colored structures. And what about the stain? Stain or dye, coloring agent used to study chromosome is fulgen. Is the stain used by concerned scientists to observe so-called chromosome. And at the time, what they observed? Doubling of chromosomes before cell division. So at the time, they identified chromosomes. That was also in the support of Mendel laws of inheritance. Okay, so if you go back to cell division, what we studied at the time of mitosis and meiosis. During mitosis and meiosis, definitely common statements. So many are uncommon statements are there. First, take a common statements. They support a factor as a genetic material which is located within the chromosome. So during mitosis and meiosis, what we observed, what we studied, that is division of, doubling of, or division of, doubling of chromosomes and chromosome movement. Actually, during that period, they observed chromosome movement of chromosomes, movement of chromosomes. Okay, so because of advancement in microscopy, they studied a chromosome structure, division of the chromosome, movement of chromosomes during mitosis and meiosis. So with the help of chromosome movement, Sutton and Boveri, Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri. Simply I'm writing Sutton and Boveri. Sutton and Boveri. These two people postulated that, they proposed that a theory. What was that theory? That was chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so they provided some physical evidence in the support of factor-based evidence provided by Mendel. So this chromosomal theory of inheritance was in the support of supporting factor-based inheritance. According to Mendel, that factor was a putative genetic material. What is a putative genetic material? Genetic material is present, available, physically present, chemically present, functionally present, but there was no support in that physical end. There was no physical, chemical, experimental support, so-called to that factor. So first of all, Sutton and Boveri, they provided a physical evidence. Actually, chromosome is vehicle of a genetic material, that is a physical basis of inheritance. DNA was chemical basis of inheritance. Okay, so they proposed a chromosomal theory of inheritance with the help of what they used. So they proposed this one with the help of, okay, they studied meiosis particularly. They studied meiosis in a meiocyte. That meiocyte is with the 2n chromosome number 4. Okay, out of all angiosperms, generally 2n chromosome number 4 is present in Haplopappus gracillus. Not given in a textbook, leave it. Okay, generally diploid chromosome number 4. Haplopappus gracillus. That is an angiospermic plant, flowering plant. So he studied meiosis. In that meiosis, what he identified, what he observed, what they studied, first one, movement of chromosomes. Particularly, they focused on Meiosis only. Of course, in mitosis also movement of chromosomes present, but yeah, that is this one is a 4 only. This one is 4 only. Paisum sativum to n chromosome number 14. But this one is different. Look into your textbook. 2n chromosome number 4 given. Okay, right? So movement of chromosomes. Here particularly, what about the movement of chromosomes? Okay, particularly what they focused, what they identified. That is segregation. Segregation or disjunction. Segregation or disjunction of homologous chromosomes. Of homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes present in a bivalent. Go back to meiosis. During synopsis. Synopsis takes place during zygote stage of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. Synapsed chromosomes. Synapsed chromosome, a pair of chromosomes, is called as a bivalent or not? Bivalent. So he focused on segregation or disjunction of homologous chromosomes, depairing of homologous chromosomes. Okay, so he studied a movement of chromosomes, separation of chromosomes. Okay, right? So by studying the separation of chromosomes, what he identified and what he explained, he noticed that the statement given by those two people, what was the statement given by them? That was the behavior of chromosomes. The behavior of means movement. Behavior means movement. Behavior. Behavior of chromosomes. Chromosomes parallel to the behavior of genes or factors according to textbook genes given. Okay, so behavior of chromosomes parallel to the behavior of genes was given. Okay, right? So with the help of a segregation of or disjunction of segregation or disjunction of homologous chromosomes, he observed this one and he supported a law of independent assortment. Law of independent assortment that was in the support of Mendel. Independent assortment that was according to dihybrid cross according to Mendel. Go back to dihybrid cross. Law of independent assortment. Okay, assortment of capital Y, small y is independent of assortment of capital R, small r. What they identified, what was the statement given by these people. Okay, so for to understand that one, definitely we have to use flow charts given in our textbook. Okay, right? Wait, good, thank you. Okay, wait. Now, chromosomal theory of inheritance. By Sutton Boveri. In 2020 NEET examination, they asked very simplest question: who proposed a chromosomal theory of inheritance? Sutton and Boveri. Okay. Right. So now he selected a myocyte. What is that myocyte? We have to look in that myocyte. For his experiments, he selected a myocyte. So myocyte, what is a myocyte? A cell in which meiosis is possible. Okay, or a cell which is undergoing meiosis is called as a myocyte. Meiosis is also called as a reductional division. Reason chromosome number is reduced to half. Okay, so two meiosis 1, meiosis 2 are present. You are perfect in that one. So what is that myocyte? Ploidy of that one is 2n chromosome number 4. Okay, so in that myocyte, for example, this is a myocyte. That myocyte is with 4 chromosomes. What are those 4 chromosomes? Okay, so to demonstrate his experiment, he used a certain number of colors and characteristics to explain his theory. Okay, so what about that one? So for example, this is a chromosome 1 and this is chromosome 2. And this one is a chromosome, third one and fourth one. So what about the color of this chromosome? Yellow. This one is yellow color. That chromosome is in yellow color. I will give you a description here, don't worry. So this one is a yellow chromosome. And this one is a orange colored chromosome. Okay. This one, red colored chromosome. This one, green colored chromosome. Okay, so this one is a tall chromosome, yellow chromosome, tall chromosome, orange chromosome, tall chromosome. For example, only here I'm taking 100 angstroms, 100 angstroms, not the real one. 100 angstroms, 100 angstroms. This one, short chromosome, short chromosome. Okay, so yellow, orange, yellow and orange. Here I'm taking statement 1, yellow and orange chromosomes. This description is very important to understand a chromosomal theory of inheritance. Without this knowledge, you can't understand and command chromosomal theory of inheritance proposed by Sutton and Boveri by studying meiosis in a myocyte. Yellow and orange chromosomes. What about the given length? Suppose only, not the real one. Tall chromosome, tall chromosome. For example, on this one, 100 angstroms, 100 angstrom, not the real one, please. Okay, so these 2 chromosomes are homologous chromosomes. What are those 2 chromosomes? These 2 are homologous chromosomes. Homologous mother-father chromosome.